Man, I'm about to talk fast because I just got through like at least a good 20 minutes of this information, and just to find out that the new platform I was using was some bullshit. So we live on Twitch once again. Unfortunately, that means it's raw, uncut, no edits. We got Doodled in the cut. That's what you hear. That's Doodled in the cut. We got my wife Suni in the cut. So she's our guest today. So they want to say what's up to the chat.
Hey, chat.
Doodle already said what's up to the chat. You heard him loud and clear. So I guess without further ado, we're just gonna get right into it. Our first topic today is going to be an organization known as TLS, or the Light System. Now, just a little background about TLS. Their goal is to basically they're a non-violent secret organization whose main goal is to assist humanity. Now, they're very similar to a shadow government, but in the sense of they're not the bad guys. At least this is according to a man named Ray. If you want more information on this, if you want it from the direct source that I got it from, you can go ahead and go look up Disclosure. You can look up Disclosure on it's a part of Unified, and it's also you can find some segments I think for free on YouTube for sure. But it's called Disclosure, and it talks about this organization called the Light System, who basically I know you guys have heard of shadow governments. It's similar to a shadow government, but these guys are the good guys, according to Ray. Their jobs here would be to stop like natural disasters that are not really natural, and stuff like that.
And pandemics and stuff.
Well, clearly they failed to stop the pandemic, but yes, that would be their goal, to step in and stop these guys from doing the bad stuff that they're doing. How do they do it? Well, they have major politicians, they have NASA astronauts, they have Hollywood superstars that are a part of this group, and every major politician, NASA, Hollywood, all of those guys are aware of this organization. However, they will never recognize it exists. And TLS is not the only organization that are like their own kind. Like, you have like the Cabal, you have the Illuminati. Well, we also have a good side of it as well. And yeah, so getting more in depth about what it is that they, what they are. TLS uses what they call spiritual work and physical work to accomplish these goals. They have these high-ranking members. Ray referred to basically like his mentor as the rabbi, and he is a Jewish rabbi, but it said that he's like over 600 years old, and that to us he would appear to be just like an 85-year-old man in some great shape, but he's really old as fuck. And
are they all Jewish?
No. It's not about religion for TLS. It's not about religion at all. If anything, their goal is to eradicate religion for the purpose that religion is set out here to. It's a divide and conquer. It's set to divide the masses. So with that being said, their goal. It just so happens that the rabbi, who is a high-ranking member, is a Jewish rabbi, but a lot of the members, they're not. Don't get it confused with atheism, because they do believe in God. They just don't believe in modern day religion, which is something that a lot of, if you know me personally, you know that I too do not agree or acknowledge modern day religion, modern day teachings, because it's been rewritten and interpreted hundreds of thousands of times. So it's impossible to almost know what the true essence is. Now, Ray describes something known as codes. Basically, you just simply codes that are found within the Bible. They're found within the pyramids. They're literally, it's called the Pyramid Code. Ray wrote a book called The Pyramid Code. If anybody's interested to read that, I have yet to read it myself. I would like to try to read it, but I'm not sure if I ever am. But it sounded interesting. Anyways, though, these high-ranking members, though, they're what he does is he explains how they're able to give and take away and or teach you how to tap into the spiritual side of things and actually access supernatural abilities such as shape-shifting, transducing, levitation, water breathing, a level of telepathy where you can communicate with, extraterrestrials. And I know I haven't touched on extraterrestrials yet, but this group of people actually claim to work hand in hand with ETs to help prevent the fall of humanity. Their whole goal is to assist humanity, but not interfere with humanity. Which I find very, very weird, because at what point is assisting interfering? What line, where is that line at?
Yeah.
But that's Ray's problem that Ray has with his organization, is that sometimes he feels like they don't interfere enough, because Ray isn't the top. Ray isn't the head of the head. Ray is actually in charge of just the New York chapter of this. The light system is all over the world. It's a global organization. These people are everywhere. But his specific job is to oversee the New York office, and then he has a boss. And so just getting into some of those abilities, I know you're probably like, bro, what? People can't shapeshift or whatever. And I agree. I'm not sure how much of this is actual factual information, but when he gets into it, he basically describes that the ability of shapeshifting isn't something that can be given or taken from you, or even taught. It has to be something that you're born with, a genetic trait, almost like a missing chromosome. It's like you have to. I'm not saying that you have to have a missing chromosome. That's just an example. You have to be born with a genetic trait to obtain these abilities. Transducing would be the equivalent of like hypnotism. I use a description of Logan's wife in X-Men Origins, how she had the ability to touch you and tell you what you're going to do, and then you have no choice but to do that. That is transducing. And I know that sounds maleficent in itself, but again, you got to remember one thing that these people stress over and over again is that they do not do these things for harm. They do these things anytime they're using these abilities. It's for the greater good. All right. So they also have access to levitation. Now I know levitation isn't something that's that far fetched. You have videos of monks levitating. Hell, Chris Angel can levitate. He's done it in front of thousands of people. You know what I'm saying? But Chris Angel might be tapped into a darker force that gives him his abilities. Chris Angel, for those who don't know, Chris Angel is a magician. He's amazing. You should actually check him out. Look up some videos on YouTube. Some of the things that he can do is like, what? I've never seen him do it in person, so all of it could be fake. I mean, mind you, everything that we're discussing here today, I'm not trying to change your thought process. I'm not trying to make you believe in anything that you don't believe in. To be honest, I don't care what you believe in. You shouldn't care what I believe in. What we believe in is what we believe in. I'm just here today to discuss an interesting topic and just basically bring awareness to these different organizations that claim to be doing these different things, because as you know, this all in every lie is a piece of truth. In every lie is a piece of truth. So with that being said, some of the other abilities, you know what water breathing is, and you know what telepathy is. Some of these people have they claim to work with with extraterrestrial life hand in hand. Mm-hmm. To assist humanity in this stuff. And so with that being said, some of these people have claimed to actually travel on, extraterrestrial craft to their exoplanets, which if you don't know what an exoplanet is just a planet outside of our solar system. Travel to their exoplanets and actually learn from them. They say that when extraterrestrial life comes here, that they actually go through about like a year time period where they learn. They're basically babies when they get here, because everything that we do is different than what they do. Our gravity's different. Our sun is different. Everything is different, right? So they have to basically relearn how to do. They have to learn how to eat our foods. They have to learn how to communicate. They have to learn how to be a human. So they go through a year period of time where they do that. And then I'm not sure how it works. I guess they go through metamorphosis and start looking like humans at some point in time. This is Ray's claims. He says that some extraterrestrial beings have ability to generate energy from within their body. Now, humans, we can generate, we have our own, we're born with our own vibrational frequencies and energies and stuff like that. So we too have energy within us, but these beings have mastered it to a point where they actually, and it's a little bit different too, they actually emit nuclear energy from within their bodies. These are the claims. Similar to like, and if you can't really picture that, I mean, think of an electric eel. It can emit energy from within its body, and it can actually electrocute its prey, zapping its brain with 600, 6,000. I don't know the exact number. Zap his brain, dead. You're dead, right? Now, when Ray goes into some of these different races of extraterrestrial beings, he mentions 3 different races, and he said that he couldn't bring up any more, but there are many more. But he was only given clearance to speak on 3 of them. That is the Nashia, and that's Nashia, the Zia, which is Tzia, and the Nakonom, which is Konom. And he goes in to describe what these beings look like, what they eat, and some of the situations on their planets, even their lifespans. So like the Zia people, he described to be very tall, European-like creatures, but they appeared to have a tan. And they don't really perceive death like we perceive death. They actually, instead of having funerals, they have parties, they have celebrations to celebrate the life that person lived throughout their time period. You know what I'm saying? They actually believe that reincarnation is the afterlife for them, and that death is a positive thing because you get to move on to your next phase. I will also get into a little bit deeper about like their beliefs and how the reincarnation actually goes, like step by step, because they did break that down too, and I think that's pretty interesting how that works. But for time's sake, we're just gonna kind of move on right now. Real quick, the Zia people, I know you said like lifespans and stuff like that. They are vegetarians because they don't have animals on that planet. They don't have fruit on that planet either. They only have vegetables, vegetation. And with that being said, that is all that they eat. And their lifespan used to be about 360 years. They would live to be 360. But they have 3 sons. And because they have those 3 sons, the planet is very warm. And as a result, it's very limited water. The people are actually dying off, and their lifespan is dwindled to 180 years to 200 years. Sound familiar?
Yep.
So let's go ahead and move on to the next people, which are the Nashia. They are, let's see, their planet is actually very fruitful. He described the Nashia to be shorter, dark-skinned people, which that's got to be racist. But anyways, he described them as shorter, dark-skinned people with 2 holes for a nose. Like, so they didn't look as human-like, but they kind of resembled like a deformed human almost. They don't have a nose; they just have 2 holes where their nose would be. They also have, they just kind of have the nostrils without the nose type thing. Think of like Roger, but not Roger, because I'm not trying to offend any aliens. That's how I picture it. That's how I picture it. Well, just because you're dark skinned doesn't make you black. but anyways, let's see. You get me off topic. They on their planet, there's actually it's kind of the opposite. They also have no animals. It's just them and nature, but they have large bodies of water. And their architecture is very similar to ours in terms of they have 2-story buildings, 4-story buildings, most of them being white colored, but their lifespan is way shorter than ours, being that they only live 15 to 20 years. The Zia people are very, very simple people. I didn't bring this up before, but the Zia people, they have advanced technology to have the architecture that we have, but they choose to not access that stuff. They really don't want it. You know what I'm saying? They'll much rather be comfortable living in a one-story rent-style home, and they much rather not wear shoes. That's just that's their thing. That's what they do. That's their customs. So that is what that is. And then moving on to the sheesh, I didn't scroll down a lot. Moving on to the Konon people, they're said when he described them, he said they're almost like literally, and I quote, he said they resemble a small curled up dolphin, which is really a shrimp. I don't know, but obviously it's. I don't know what his definition of small would be because it's a being, and he claims to have interacted with this being. Ray even claims to have almost been killed by one. He said that when he seen it, his brain interpreted it as an animal. Like he didn't really perceive it to be a human being type thing. Like he knew, or not a human being. He didn't perceive it to be an intelligent being.
Gotcha.
So it's like he knew. I mean, obviously he knew it was it, but it's like he looked at it. That's like if Jasmine suddenly started standing on two legs and started speaking to us. I would still wake up in the morning and pet her because in my head she looks like a dog. It's a dog type thing, right? Well, imagine if I went to go pet Jasmine one day and she thought that I was a threat because she didn't know me and she just decided to zap me with nuclear energy and basically nearly explode my internal organs. Ray said that is what occurred to him, that he went to go and try to touch it through fascination, through curiosity, and that might have been the biggest mistake he could have ever made. The thing nearly killed him, the Konon race. They're not violent, though. That is one thing that Ray speaks on and is an advocate for. He says that is 100% man-made, just the thought process of these beings coming here to try to kill us, try to enslave the human race. That's definitely not what they're here for. If they wanted to, they could have already done it. But they
come here, we don't know until somebody catches them.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's hieroglyphics that date back to like assuming that the world is 8,000 years old, because there's also people that don't necessarily believe that can even be right millions of thousands of years old. But there's hieroglyphics that depict helicopters, planes, and flying saucers and stuff like that. So if the ancient Egyptians could see this shit, that means they've been here for a while now. They've been doing this for a while now, and we just don't know. But overall, they're peaceful beings though who don't know war and violence. They do, however, know self-defense, which is what Ray described his situation to be when he encountered that being. He also described spacecraft with many different designs piloted by captains. Mind you, I told you that they go to different exoplanets. He described the spaceships, the craft that they would travel on, and that they had captains, almost like how we have captains of a cruise ship. And the way that they piloted these craft would be with the energy they emit. So they would use their hands to pilot it, or depending on the type of craft, they might use magnets, which I'm assuming that would still generate energy from their body and then be concentrated into the magnet, which would then steer the ship which direction it wants to go. He also said some of the ships would just move based on thought.
That seems pretty cool.
It seems amazing. I wish we had some technology like that, but humans are so stupid. I can't have that technology.
Man,
if I got that technology and you fuck around and walk in front of me while it's a green light, I'm gonna think 10 points and run your ass the fuck over, and I'm gonna be trying to explain to the police like, no, I didn't think that, but you did it. But I didn't think that, but you did it. So I would be in prison. But that's also part of the problem. Like our thought process is not there yet as humans. I've heard multiple people say this in the past 2 weeks, that our brains are the exact same way they were 2,000 years ago. Meaning that we as humans we have not evolved in any way for 2,000 years. However, our technology has changed dramatically. Everything around us has evolved except us. That's a pretty interesting thought. Um, that's a very, very interesting thought. In order to get on these spaceships, though, he he describes that you would have to drink like this concoction that they made, and that like it's an herbal concoction. It's all natural, and Ray said he had to drink it for a month to prep his body for to basically protect his body from certain atmospheric conditions. And his first trip, because he said he's maybe taking like what 4 or 5. His first trip that he took, he actually had to wear a suit, which like what our astronauts have to wear when we go up there, a suit to protect his body from the pressure. Which I think is amazing. And he was, you also would think like, yo, like how are all these ships going around and stuff and we can't see them? The main thing is that I'll come to the realization that every UFO sighting or alien sighting that we have is because they wanted us to see them. If they didn't, we wouldn't. And I say that because this is not the first piece of information that I've read where it describes a field that is emitted around said spacecraft. Now, this field is actually able to bend gravity, as you come here, obviously, because it can fly. It can bend gravity, but not just gravity, it can bend light. With that being said, to you wouldn't see it. It bends the light and the gravity around it, so where for a human eye, it's invisible. Yeah. Your brain cannot see anything. We don't see anything. Like I can't. We literally don't see anything except light. Our brain takes in, our eyes take in the light. That information is shot back to all that other stuff, and is processed, and where a picture is then presented to us, and that's how we know what we're looking at, right?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get into it all. Like I'm not a scientist. I'm not finna sit here and get all into how you see, right? I don't really care. But that is how, they say that these things are done. And it appears to be like when you're on this ship, it says that you travel at such high speeds that you appear to be moving slow. Like almost like I don't even know, but like think of like Barry Allen, like on The Flash, when he's moving that fast, how everything around him is moving at 0.02 miles an hour. Like that's how he explains interstellar travel as far as how fast those crafts were moving. He also even describes some interstellar travel that to me it almost sounded like astral projection, being that his body was still physically here on Earth, but he was able to project his soul to another planet. I'm not sure how that works. He described that if you go visit another planet that way, that they have a body prepared for you. They have a body waiting for you. So you would appear to them as one of them. I mean, obviously they know that you're not a one of them. Your soul, you're human, your shit came from another solar system, a whole other solar system. But they have that for you to come and visit. Which that's weird too to me. That's like, I don't know. I've never heard of anything like that before. What about you? Have you heard of anything like that?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. It's pretty weird. But that's kind of when like you kind of the conversation kind of takes a turn in into a little bit of darkness here.
But I do have a question.
What's up?
So going back a little bit. You said how we don't have the technology that other people do or planets do, and our brains are like very, very old. So, do we? I feel like we do have the technology. We most definitely do.
We most definitely do.
And our brains are so old because we don't care enough to get the answers that we really necessarily need to, I'll just say, overthrow the government. Or, just basically know everything that they know.
Yeah.
They're hiding stuff, but they want us to know only specific things. Like take the COVID thing for example, like
the pandemic.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So nobody knew that they actually had a real.
Nobody knew what? I'm sorry, I accidentally hit it. I'm sorry.
Nobody knew that they actually had it's a safer vaccine than the vaccine that they're projecting out. But nobody knows about it. I read about it once. I never saw it again.
It's taking. That's interesting. I gotta look into that. I definitely want to look into that because I never heard of an alternative vaccine. But one, I would never take that vaccine simply because when it comes to life-threatening diseases or ailments or whatever, it usually takes years to develop something to combat it. These niggas had this shit ready to go in days. Now that tells me one or two things. Either you've been planning this for years, so you had said vaccine ready to go, or there ain't. Never mind. That's a whole other topic for a whole other day. Let's not.
Just real quick, this last thing, and then we can change this topic.
What's up? What's up?
They are killing us because we stopped killing each other. Go ahead.
Okay, that's deep though. That's deep though. At the end of the day, it all boils down to a battle between good and evil. And as of right now, evil is winning. That's something that if you don't believe that, I'm not. You must live in a rock somewhere. But you can turn on any TV show.
The news.
Turn on the news. Literally, just turn on any type of media. Open your phone and go on Instagram. You're going to see something like. I found myself.
Somebody died or somebody.
It's the world is become toxic. Whereas these ETs, these extraterrestrials, they have come to find out that literally we are all one. And a lot of people think like, yo, why would ETs try to come and help us? Right? It's because they've come to the realization that we are all one. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
Right. The ETs understand that everything in the universe is connected. Meaning that if we fuck up and destroy our planet, we ain't just fucking up us. We fucking up the universe. When we do things that aren't natural, if we cause our planet to explode before it's ready, that would basically pollute the universe. Like and I don't. Nobody's trying to deal with that right now. But we're still on this one topic. We gotta.
Nobody's trying to talk about it either.
No, of course no. Of course no. They're not gonna talk about it. They're not gonna talk about it. And no, you're good because it's so much information in this one thing that I gotta get through quick. And if there's any specific things that you guys want me to brush on, I can do that too. But I gotta get through this information. So. Getting into the darkness in our reality, evil beings coming to enslave us, like I said again, is a man-made concept stemming from satanic rituals. That is what Ray claims. He says it has an ability to create man-made phenomenon. Basically saying the evildoers, they have abilities to create man-made phenomenon like what we discussed earlier, like tsunamis, tidal waves, hurricanes. I'm not sure if they can do tornadoes, but I mean, like I told you before, I mean, if we can do certain things like that, I'm pretty sure it wouldn't be that hard to push a cold and a warm front together and create that.
What if it's the no-gooders and the good people doing it, like they're trying to fix, the weather, but the no-gooders are already trying to like destroy it. That's energy out, and that's what causes a tornado.
I see what you're saying, like the battle of good and evil coming together, and like as a result, you see that. Yeah, that's good. That's good too. That's good too. But all of this basically stems from mind games. And there's gonna be a part 2 of this video. It's gonna have to be a part 2 of this video, but stemming down into mind games, it's like there are the humans. We're laughably predictable. We are, and like I told you before, I was gonna get more into like how you learn things and stuff like that. Our lives, we basically live 3 lives simultaneously. Now, there's an ex-CIA agent who kind of broke this down in an interview, right? Mm-hmm. How they build profiles and stuff like that. And this is good information to know, so you can be aware of this if it might possibly happen to you one day. But you live 3 different lives simultaneously. You live your personal life, your private life, and your secret life, right? And these agents understand that if they can get you to allow them, mind you, if they can get you to allow them access to your secret life, they can obtain information from you using your own free will. Like, you'll give it freely. In other words, if I can make you think you my best friend, I can get whatever the fuck I want from you, any piece of information. And to us, it would appear like loyalty, right? Because they'd be like, yo, I just told this person my deepest, darkest secrets, and they didn't tell nobody. They didn't wrote that shit down. That shit is in a dossier. That shit is in a dossier. Waiting for, as soon as you feel me, they just need more information. And to us, it appears as loyalty. So this person's loyal to me. It's way deeper than that. You allowed access to something that you're not even really aware of. And you can take that and take it even deeper and bring that into a religious standpoint of things and how things go. But for time's sake, we're not going to go into that right now. We're going to go into a little bit deeper of how agencies build profiles on you, right? And so humans, we have three human resources, right? You can basically break everything down into 3 major resource groups, okay? That would be your time, your energy, and your finances. Now, he described it to be money because that's what today, our finances today is money, green paper. But that's not always been the case. And these tactics have been around for ever. So I say finances. But with that being said,
trading is still finance.
Your level, exactly. Trading and stuff, trading and bartering is still your financial situation. But your resource levels are constantly fluctuating, constantly changing, right? Being that in the beginning of the day, obviously is when you will be more resource rich. You got all the energy for the majority. For the people that sleep throughout the night, you will wake up, you feel me, you'll be full of energy, full of life. You got nothing but time. Your day just started. And finances that's a little bit different. But any other thing that you can try to take and break off into a resource, that it all can get stemmed back down to one of these 3 major groups. And when you're tapped, right? When your resources become drained, that is when you are the most vulnerable version of yourself. That is when you are your true self. Is when you're most likely when you're drained, right? It's the closest you can get to it. So with that being said, in private, you might be a completely different person than in public. But if you're drained, you're more likely to be your private self in public because you don't got the energy or the time
to be all nice
to fake it. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. You don't have the energy or time to do that. So what these people do is they wait and they target you when you're at your low point. And when you're at this low point and you're showing your true self, at this point, your personality can then be reflected back to you, giving you a false sense of connection with somebody, right? Leaving you vulnerable for the information to then be extracted from you. And obviously it's like, well, how can they just extract the information? Can they tap into my brain? No. Simple as questions. Just simply ask questions. And you might not even realize what you're doing, but you're giving out information freely. It's a known fact that whoever is asking the questions is in charge of that conversation. They're in charge. So with that being said, in order to achieve this goal of getting this information from you, you first got to be studied extensively before contact is ever even made. And so how would they do this? You got 3 stages of your brain development, right? The first stage is the deutered stage, where you're a sponge, right? And that's between ages 0 to 7. That is basically when the foundation in which your brain's program is laid. Yeah. Now you cannot during this time period, you cannot tell the difference between true and false information. You just take in all information and perceive it to be what it is, right?
Which is why it's such a crucial time in your life.
Exactly. But most important, so then you go on into phase 2, which is between the ages of 7 and 13. This information is used to gain data points of what a target was exposed to during this time period or the lack thereof. Mm-hmm. With that being said, during this time period, you can now differentiate between true and false. However, you can choose which pieces of information you want to give value to. So with that being said, you can still absorb and obtain info, but you begin to have preferences of which set of information you dedicate your time and energy to.
Yep.
In other words, the concept of Santa Claus. When you're 7 through 13, it don't make sense. I don't even have a chimney. How the fuck is Santa Claus getting in here putting gifts on it? But you don't care. Santa gonna bring me gifts. That's all you care about. That's what you want to focus on, right? And also, we're gonna get into that too next episode. But but that is essentially how the second phase goes through. Now, after that, after phase 2, you enter the puberty phase. Now, that phase actually lasts, most people don't know this, but you go through puberty from the ages of 13 to 25. Now, some people can hit it as early as 12, but usually the ages are between 13 and 25 on average. And yes, it does last that long, which means I'm still going through puberty, and a lot of you other motherfuckers are still going through puberty too. You don't even realize it. Basically, at this point in your life, you begin to resist certain forms of information. In other words, it's like you have the cognitive capacity to hear the info, but you also have the cognitive capacity to reject that information as well. Meaning, like, what's an example I could give? Like church, for instance, like religion. You might have been raised in church your whole life, but once you reach the puberty phase, you can begin to reject that information. You can hear it. No, you can hear it and delete it instantly. You're no longer in that sponge phase, right? Now after that, after age 25 until you die, your brain still has neuroplasticity, meaning you're still capable of learning new things, obviously, but at that point, your worldviews are already set.
I think not all views, though. I feel like
let me finish. At the age of 25, your worldviews are already set, unless something happens that changes your worldview. But in order for that to happen, you would have to allow it. You would have to allow that challenge to even take place. Otherwise, you will never change the way you think.
Like grandparents, for example.
Like grandparents are a great example. Grandparents are the best example. They could change,
if they really wanted
but they're so set in their ways that they literally reject the information and will never change. Now, this information is used by intelligence agencies to build general profiles on targets to later be used to manipulate someone's perspective and essentially change that said perspective. After the general profile is made, they'll then go in and examine the fine details of your life, such as how often are you on your phone? Who do you hang around? What do you eat? What are your eating habits? What are your eating habits? Right? Mm-hmm. Stuff like that. And that's then when, like, the profile then begins to be tailored more specifically to that target. Now the way that you do that is like, like, how can they do that? Well, have you seen? I know you've seen Bull, the show Bull, right?
Yeah.
Where they bring in 12 shadow jurors that would, of course, they're not the same person, but they have the same background, they have the same profile as the jurors that are actually on trial with the defendant, whatever. And they use, you feel me? They do different things they basically run tests on those individuals, not like physical tests, but mental tests on those individuals to basically get a more personalized profile on a certain group of people. Then that information is then passed down to a field officer, where the field officer then goes to establish that specific, you feel me, your specific target's life habits. From that point, it's like I'm studying your schedule now, you feel me? Because we have a general profile, we now have your personalized profile. Now we need to know your habits.
Sounds like
Amazon. Sounds like literally anything that you tap into today, they're building a profile on you. Real quick, and then let's see. We still got a little bit of time. But basically, bro, they systematically use these agents and it goes down the chain of command until eventually that field officer would go ahead, and once he gets what he needs, they would initiate the bump. Is what the CIA, the ex-CIA agent referred into. Now, you ever heard somebody say, "Oh, I bumped into so and so today," right? And it would seem like a coincidence.
It wasn't.
They initiate the bump, where to you it's just a coincidence that you run into this person. Oh, this person might have spilled coffee on you. Yo, what the fuck? Yo, my bad, bro. Yo, is that a Pikachu book? You fuck with Pokemon? You feel me? And then it's something so subtle as that, to where this person, you don't even realize, like, this person's been studying you for months, maybe even years, building this profile just so he could find the perfect time. He catch you in your happy place, right? He catch you at Starbucks, just got your macchiato, spilt your shit on you, and then offered to buy you another one and a donut. So now you feel me? You cool. Now your shirt fucked up, but you cool. You feel me? And it's just amazing, and they kind of break things down into they use something called the Myers-Briggs system. The Myers-Briggs is a system broken into 16 personality types, and each type has like 2 different subtypes, but basically it's used to categorize a target's personality, and that would be located in your file, and this information can and will be tweaked as the agents like study and interact with you. So your Myers-Briggs might be one thing when they initiate the bump, but now that we're friends and now I get to hang out with you, and we're going to movies, we're going to malls, we're going to different events. Now I can truly see, I can now start to tap into your private, your secretive life, and really get to see what your true personality is. Now, what they do with this information, I don't know what. Like I said, intelligence agencies, the spies, they're just there to gather and collect information with this shit. But it can also be used for very dark things. It could be used for very good things. These are just, once again,
like undercover cops and
undercover cops for sure. That's exactly how an undercover cop would do it. It's exactly a serial. I'm sure a serial killer understands this, but on a very primitive level. Yeah. It's like they understand psychology. They understand how to get you to do something that you wouldn't normally do, and then they take advantage of it.
Like,
this is a lot more detailed and in depth. But it is still amazing. It is still amazing. And with that being said, there's a lot of things that are going on, you know what I'm saying, based on everything that we've talked about, where it's like, okay, so like where would God fit into this entire conversation that we've had today, right? You got people building profiles, you got people having conversations with extraterrestrial life, you got people doing all these different things, right? Mm-hmm. You can kind of break it down into 2 different groups. It would be individual and universal awareness. Now, mind you, I said I'm just doing this here to just, for one, I'm just doing it for my own entertainment. Hopefully other people are entertained by it too. But a sub goal would be to gain awareness, to the people. As of right now, my goal would be individual awareness. But the end all be all goal should be universal awareness. We're all born with, like I said, specific vibrational frequencies, and we can use, we can tap into that. There's the ancient people that figured it out years ago. They figured it out thousands of years ago. And it's just a lot of wicked going on in the world. And I just want, you feel me? A lot of people need to kind of wake up and realize what's all going on. Like some of the things that TLS stops, there were these tunnels that were getting blown up, and they actually had to go in there and save children. You know how there's children that go missing every year that are never found? They say that some of those children get taken down into these tunnels where they're then cloned and used for experimentations and stuff like that. And they're sick, malnourished. Some of these clones, if you're a clone, you don't have parents. Your parent would be your origin body or whatever, right? Your mother plant, your mother body, your host body. Mm-hmm. So it's like, and I got to thinking like, yo, like what are they doing with kids? Are they chopping them up and feeding them to us like McDonald's burgers? Like what's going on and stuff like that? Well, they kind of say that they're extracting. It's a hormone or enzyme. I'm not sure exactly what it is. It's called adrenochrome. That is said to be extracted from these children in these walls inside the tunnels that are held by the evildoers. And these tunnels are said to stretch throughout the entire world. Said the only place where these tunnels do not exist, for some odd reason, is in China. I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
They probably sent.
I don't know. They said one of the major hubs for this place, though, is Antarctica, which is why most people you can't, as you know, you can't even fly over a certain part of Antarctica or you'll get shot the fuck down. You damn sure can't walk up there and go see anything. So
who?
I don't know, but it's like, with all of this being said, one thing that the people, and in closing, because I know it's a lot of information and it was just kind of spewed out and it was quick, but again, this is about awareness at the end of the day too. They in our next episode here, we're going to be talking more about spirituality for sure, and kind of leading into that. What we here to discuss, or what I'm trying to get people to understand, is that before 2012, which not a lot of people realize this, but the Mayan calendar, the long count, ended at 2012.
Yeah, we were supposed to be dead.
Were we though? Because but listen though, before 2012 was considered the age of darkness. After 2012, we shifted into the age of light. Remember in 2012, after 2012, that's when everybody wanted to be woke. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, we woke now, right? How woke are you? We're a lot more woke than we were beforehand. Think about it, all the way down to the music that we listen to. You know what I'm saying? Everything seemed to have had a demonic tie and still does. But now we're more aware of it, right? It's like the darkness was brought into light. That part kind of makes sense to me. They were saying that before 2012 was the age of darkness, and we're currently living in the age of light. But we're still fresh in the age of light, meaning we're still a hell of a lot of residual darkness hanging around, probably.
I mean, 2012 wasn't that long.
2012 was what, 11 years ago? Yeah. That ain't that goddamn long. No. It's really not in the grand scheme of things.
From BC to now.
Right, from BC, right, considering the fact that supposedly, it's been 2,000 years since Christ died, but and that's another thing too. It's impossible. I don't understand how people could not believe that Jesus Christ exists. No matter what religion you feel me, any valid religion, because there's some people that want to be like, oh, I praise the pizza face God. Like, you're an idiot. Real life, you're an idiot. Like, I hope he watches this shit. You're an idiot. But like, it's said that around 170 years from now, which would put us around the year, he gave us the year 2182. Around that year, we will usher in to the age of love.
Oh, I hope I'm here.
I'm not exactly sure what all that entails, right? But mind you, when you get into the biblical conversations and stuff like that, You constantly hear that we are in the end times, we're in the end times, and that a lot of false gods, a lot of false prophets will come up and will and they're basically going to lead us all astray, right? I'm starting to think that a lot of them aren't necessarily some of them are doing it purposefully. Some of them are. I don't think all of them are though, because it's a lot to the world. It's a lot that we don't understand. It's a lot that we do not understand. Some people believe, Ray believes that the Bible is a book of laws written on lifestyle, and that if you abide by those laws, that you'll become a better human being and ultimately reach the 10th dimension.
But it is also stated that you can't take the Bible literal word for word as well.
That's what he said. The Bible is a book of laws. You know, the Bible's code. He refers to it as the Bible has a code in it that we're not capable of reading. We're not capable of understanding, right? And the 10th dimension is supposedly where God resides. Let me break this down real quick because I'm getting past it, and we're also running out of time here. But the year, he said that he gave a specific date where we'll be ushered into the age of light. We were ushered into the age of love. We were ushered into the age of light on December 23rd, 2012. He said December 23rd, 2182 is when we'll be ushered into the age of love. Now, me personally, I'm still fresh on the whole concept of numerology, but I did break that number down to its root number, which is the number 3. We're going to be doing an episode on numerology, but the number 3, the number 7, those numbers are very significant throughout history. Even if you were to boil it down to the dimensions, if the 2 dimension of a pyramid has 3 sides. Like, again, we're gonna get into that more later, but the number 3 is very, very, very. It comes up a lot throughout history. The number 3 throughout history of everything. Yeah, exactly, everything. So just getting in closing, I know you probably like the 10th dimension. Like, what there's dimensions? I'm gonna go ahead and briefly explain what Ray described those dimensions to be. So basically, remember we touched on reincarnation before. It's believed that based on how you live your life, you will be reincarnated, into many different forms, such as humans, ETs, animals, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But once you reach the 5th dimension, you will no longer return here on Earth. That's when you'll be made an intelligent exo being, most likely on another planet, right? Mm-hmm. And you'll remain there until you reach the 10th dimension. Modern day religions have remnants of the original laws modified. Let me start over. The religion that we have today, it has, like I said, those remnants of the original laws, but they've been modified by corrupt religious leaders to meet selfish needs. Now, I know that might not make sense, but getting a taste of what the Christmas special is going to be about, it describes how at the time when the Romans converted to Christianity and made the Roman Catholic Church, they did not want to stop certain acts, certain things that they were doing. And as a result, we have some of the things that we have today. With that being said, when you look at some of the stuff, is like another example would be like how God said to tithe to God, right? But nowadays, preachers and religious leaders are asking you to make donations to the church, right? But they're taking that money and doing things with it.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's like, how can you tie to God without tying into the church?
So
He doesn't accept actual money unless what you gonna do? Burn it? That's your sacrifice?
Why not? A tithe is to give up 10% in the name of the Lord, right? Yeah. So it don't say give another person your 10%. It's give it to God. How can I get? I can't call God and be like, yo, God, what's your address? I got your money, man. What's your Cash App, God? You can't do that, right? So I know you were trying to be like, trying to be a little funny there, but it's essentially, I mean, yeah, burn
I'm
it.
not trying to be
No, I know,
funny.
but I know. I'm not saying like you're trying to be funny, but
the burning bush, and all the sacrifices.
A lot of sacrifices are done through fire. That's been something that has been told over time. Why fire? Because fire is told to hold life. So fire is supposed to represent the light, right? Light is supposed to represent life-giving force.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what else is considered light? God himself is supposed to be light.
Mm-hmm.
So everything is connected at the end of the day. And if you just look hard enough, you don't even have to look that goddamn hard. If you just look, just glance real quick and you'll see it. You'll see it. Like it's there in front of us. And these people get paid for spiritual works, and they're actually just misleading the masses. Like what I was saying before, it's like I don't think they're necessarily doing it on purpose. Yeah. It's what they've seen be done for years. So now they think this is what we're supposed to do. And as a result, you feel me? You're fucking everything up. And Ray believes that religion should be abolished, not the Bible or the Bibles, not the different Bibles, not the different religious books. Because I know you like Bibles, but the different religious books. He don't think that the different religious books should be abolished, because if you look at a lot of different religious books, they all stem from the same idea. Again, religion is a divide and conquer tactic. You need to go ahead and get spiritual, you know what I'm saying, and learn God, learn the word of God for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Come to these conclusions for yourself, because our parents, parents, their parents, they've all been lied to. Everything that we know, that like literally everything has been stripped and perverted and corrupted, and it's been normalized to a point to where you don't even recognize it. And it's become my God is better than your God, when it's supposed to only be one God. You know what I'm saying? It's only supposed to be one God at the end of the day. And if you really truly do believe in what your God is saying, how is destruction the case? Like, and I'm not coming for anybody who believes anything, but like, for instance, let's take the jihadists, right? Because it's not just Muslims. It's not Muslims as a whole. It's a certain radical group within their religion, right? Mm-hmm. Where they believe that we got to destroy shit in the name of the God, right? To convert people. Still, kill and destruction don't sound nothing of God. That's exactly the opposite of God. So how can you say that you're doing this in the name of someone? That's like going and slapping the shit out of Joe Biden, saying this is for America. I mean, but you get what I'm saying though. You get what I'm saying though, right? How can you slap your leader in the face and say this is for our people?
It's not my leader, but yeah, I understand.
I'm not saying Joe Biden's your leader. I'm saying, how can you slap your leader in the face and say this is for my people? Yeah, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. And yeah, man, our next episode, I know this one, man. I gotta figure something out, chat, because I don't have enough time to get everything that I want to discuss into a single hour, bro. It's deep. It's a lot out here, and I urge you to do the information for yourself. If you want to, I know you probably don't understand a lot of the shit that I said. If I wasn't explaining everything correctly, go look up the light system. You can Google the light system. You can Google Rays of Light, which is a book. You can Google disclosure. I know I'm just giving it in closing. You can just go and look at some of these things. Go and look at certain people's testimonies. You have testimonies coming out from ex-warlocks, like people that were born with demons inside of them. Like, it's a lot of great information out there. And if you don't, we live in an age today where you don't have to like reading, bro. You don't. Go and watch it. You can watch it. Babe, is there anything you want to say in closing to the people?
I mean, just real quick, if y'all do want us to continue to talk about it, y'all could just comment. We can get on here, talk about it again in depth some more. We can the next video is gonna be real interesting. That's all I can say. I'm definitely gonna be here for it. I can't wait for y'all to hear my views on it. It's been good.
Next video is a Christmas video. I definitely do appreciate everybody, who watches this. I hope you had as much fun watching it as I did doing the research and making it for you guys. Again, we're just gonna keep getting better and better, and shit, we out.